Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome to another video. This is the Demoscene report for the 19th of June 2024. As usual, I went through all of the news and releases that I could find about the active Demoscene subculture, and I report them all here on this video, making a little summary. Everything is linked on the description below if you want to follow the things directly, and I hope you find something interesting. If you do so, please remember to share it with a friend so that we can help the channel grow a little bit more. Before I start up a little errata about something that I previously reported. I was saying that Skrolli was doing a special issue focused on the winner demo of a revision. That was fake news that I got trolled with or misunderstood or was lost in translation. Not quite sure, but it was a bit of a joke post and I fell for it and I announced it as being true. So that is fake news. Please be aware of that. Moving on to some real news, ATK-Lohja happened this summer. A little party that happened in Finland. The results and the releases are finally in. Demo competition with only 4 entries, the typical variant that you see at every single Finnish demo party, and not only Finnish demo party. Then a 10-year anniversary demo by Mehu for multi-platforms. Spin by Crisp got second place with a little Windows, I believe it's WebGL demo. And then Auto 2000 by Jumalauta, which we had already seen, got the first place with some very interesting car joke production, futuristic car joke production. Music competition was won by Glued. The AI graphics competition was won by Amerikalainen Don Kavakori Palotaeti of Jumalauta with some fish inside a computer. And then the wild competition, second place to Mauka and Pano with some, I guess they are brownies, looking good. I wanted to have one of those. Brownie recipe made by ChatGPT apparently, and the first place went to Lohja Forever by Amerikalainen Don Kavakori Palotaeti of Jumalauta, which was only shown at the party and not made for available for distribution, so I have no clue what it is. So yeah, little party in Finland that took place. Another little party that also took place this last few weeks was the Vintage Computer Carinthia number 29. They have regular meetings. I think it's a monthly meeting that they have. They always have some small things. This issue in particular saw the release of OpenSprite, which is this nice little editor for Windows and Linux to edit Commodore 64 graphics. So if you are looking for another editor for Commodore 64 graphics, you have an open source OpenSprite project that you can use now. Then we also had a Graffathon happening also in Finland with a special focus on newcomers. They've been running for quite a few years now, over 10 years. And they're known for being connected with the University of Finland and also trying to promote the demo scene there a bit more with some beginner-friendly things. So you see a lot of processing, WebGL things, but it's a nice little party, especially if you're a newcomer, to get some feedback and share stuff and, you know, not be as intimidated with the elite demo scene that's been doing stuff for many, many years now. They had a beginner competition, which was actually the highlight of their party. So I guess I'm going to start with the advanced. Advanced is for people who already made demos before in the past, already are knowledgeable of the system. Fifth place by Papu of Magnestimin Tieto Konekerho, a demo using the turtle language, if I believe, which is an interesting use of it. And yeah, it's called Kirsi Kankuka Ya Kuri Kanku, and it got 5th place on the competition. Floating point by Magnestin Tieto Konekerho, getting 4th place. I believe it uses this new JS library, which of course I don't remember what it is. Theater.js, I believe. Theater.js. I have no clue what it is, never used it, but I saw it mentioned on the video. Sunkissed Garden by Timo, also for browser, I believe, using cables. And 2nd place, Splines, STFs, and a Syntef by Rokas, a special thing made for Linux. I think it uses Unity, but I'm not sure. And first place to compliment by As Graffa Boys. They also, I think, also won last year. Nestle demo as well, also for Linux using STL2, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, nice little compo there. And then the beginner competition for the beginners, we see a lot of P5JS stuff. This one, Love of Darkness, just a two-scene thing by Architect and Arca. Then Glitch Epilepsy by Bala Koala, their first demo made for Java in processing. Light of Discernment by Apas, I believe it was made using cables. Virman Bilet goes Avarutst, a little joke production as well for the browser. Modulated Space by Greenhouse for Linux, Forest of the Trees by Team Forest, Project Ware by Shamit Hamed for Unity, My First Demo by Ville S, Cottage Cheese by Super Russo using Roblox of all things to make the demo. Box Insert by Sam Westerlund with some very basic box animations, but with good synchronization. Second place, Catro by Valio Beats and Veiko with some more post-processing effects applied to it as well, made in Processing.js. And the winner was We Are Doing Art by BookComp40 using Unity and some AI-generated shenanigans as well in the middle of it. Although it's really hard to tell where they used the AI, but it said said specifically that they were using AI for something. So maybe it was just as a joke. Anyways, congratulations BookComp40 for winning the beginner competition at Graffathon 2024 and for the organization for organizing another one. I think it's really cool. You can see 11 newcomers on this competition alone, so really cool to see that. We need more new blood on the demo scene, and this is a very good initiative to get some. Other things that showed up during this week, the party report for Graffathon 2024 by one of the participants, Bala Koala. So if you're interested in understanding what happens during a demo party, you can check this report by Bala Koala. I found this interesting video by Look Mom No Computer where they were putting together a computer run using marbles, and they found this at EMF, which was connected with Field Effects. Field Effects, the demo party running inside the EMF hacker camp, where people go there to see conferences about hacker stuff and security stuff and have fun with technology. And Look Mom No Computer does a lot of electronics video, usually about music and computers, but without computers, analog computers of sort. So yes, he was trying to put back together this marble art piece of some sort. So an interesting video explaining how the whole things, how all the mechanisms work inside this system that he was trying to get back together. Very cool interview with Tim Wright as well, aka Cold Storage. He did a lot of video game soundtracks for Psygnosis, and I probably said that wrong. And he was interviewed here by Noclip about the Wipeout soundtrack in particular, which became an iconic one. Also, not only Cold Storage participated on the original Wipeout, but the second Wipeout also was the first video game that had commercially licensed music inside the game. And Cold Storage still had a track there, so yeah, and he also made music for Lemmings and other games as well. He was also a participant in the demo scene. This year he went to Mountain Bites, gave a concert there, and also submitted a music track for the competition as well, so he's still around and following the demo scene in some way. So yeah, really cool interview, check it out. Was very good edited, and it gives you some interesting insight on a Wipeout and the creative process of creating a soundtrack for a game as well, which is directly applicable to demo making as well. Other things that came out this week, Toxic Bubbles by Neural and Rebels. Hitchhiker was making a little bit of an Amiga size coding entry, and he released it outside any compo. And we have the usual barrage of Commodore 64 releases outside of any competition. Rasterwave by Nikron, Stars and Stuff by Genesis Project, Orangi 24 by Extend, Genesis Project Star-tro by The Phantom, Amy 47, Happy Birthday Amy of the Solaris Agency, Energy Intro by Blazon, and that's it. And then we had Bacchus doing some interview with David Pleasance, or extra of the interviews. I think he interviewed him on stage, and then he did extra recordings outside of stage as well, asking him some additional questions. So if you want to see that extra footage, you can check out this video by Bacchus of FairLight. More things. There was a music disc released for the ZX Spectrum by a Portuguese software house slash Demoscene project called Penisoft, software from Peniche. And mostly covers of 80s, 90s tracks, but made for the ZX Spectrum. Impulse Tracker got released open source. Actually, it was already released open source 10 years ago on Bitbucket, but the repository kind of died when Bitbucket switched off Mercurial. There were some forks of it still available, and now JHLim re-uploaded the original one to GitHub. So yeah, you can find it again if you are looking for the source for, you know, something, I don't know. At the time, 10 years ago, he also released a series of blog posts explaining different parts of the code, importance of the code, how he did some things. So very interesting read if you like tracking and if you like programming trackers, and our tracker history is such long of a subject. There are some very in-depth, lengthy videos explaining all of the different trackers that happened, and the Impulse Tracker definitely made a very strong mark in the tracker world. Is still very much referenced as one of the big final trackers before we switched into Windows era. So one of the best DOS era trackers. Talking about trackers, Pator had this interview, unfortunately in Polish. I bugged them for some captions, subtitles. They say that maybe they will try doing it, but it's probably not available yet. So if you understand Polish and you would like to know more about Vortex Tracker in particular, this interview talks about that and different versions of Vortex Tracker and how it is to make music for Vortex Tracker. So yeah, check it out. DJ Demon released another episode of the Flashback radio show that he does at the ATK Radio, just putting tracks from usually Amiga and DOS chiptunes. Nice selection of tracks, good chat, so check it out as always. Then we had a couple of events happening this weekend. Flashback Museum event was a retro event happening in Germany. They supposedly had a wild competition there for wild things that might have, including some Demoscene stuff. Unfortunately, there are no releases available yet that I could find. So I'm still waiting on that to be able to report a bit better. But it seems to be a very cool venue with a lot of things happening. If you like retro stuff, they have concerts, they have showcases, they have retro game competitions. So seems to be a cool event. Looking forward to seeing the Demoscene releases that might have been released there. Also on the same weekend, we had Nova happening on the United Kingdom, which is the recurrently yearly demo party, bigger demo party in the United Kingdom. There are only 2 demo parties in the United Kingdom, and Nova is one of them. Actually, I think there's like an Atari one now as well. So there are 3 demo parties in the United Kingdom now, apparently. Anyways, Nova had quite a decent attendance this year, a lot of international visitors as well, and a lot of releases on the compos overall. Let's take a look at the 128 tiny intro first. Hashtag or hash pound by Reality 404, which was just a browser entry, and if you click the pound signal, you give a little bit more of a drone hum. So it's more of an audio demo than a visual demo. That's why there is no screenshot of it. Then we had Folding Waves by T-Drinker for the Micro W8. Eldricht by Dave84 doing some shapes on the TIC-80, which is kind of hard to do in 128 bytes. You don't have much room for things. For multiple cycles of computing algorithms. Space Opera 128 by Fel for the Vectrex of all platforms. Really cool to see Fel more active again in the demo scene. Apoptosis by Marquee Design won the competition for the Micro W8 128 byte intro. A known effect, we have seen it before, but here compressed into 128 byte intros for the Micro W8 Fantasy Console. So yeah, really good compo at 128 bytes. Super Rogue was pushing a lot of people to try to submit some stuff. They some of them submitted to the 256 byte intro competition instead, led by Zuleika, got 10th place for the TIC-80. Then we had a Nova Up Lights by Rairi doing something for the buttons here. You can see on the next to my head. They would change with time and make like letters and stuff, so you could. They hacked the synth to be able to play custom things, including lighting up the buttons and stuff. What did I do? I screwed up. Okay. Then we have Alienscape by Swiss Cracking Association. Really cool to see Saturnus active after so many years. He was a vintage Amiga coder from back in the day, back in the 90s, and he came back last year to do a small crack throw for Posada's party and is still doing some intros now. So Alienscape, really nice little effect here by Saturnus the Invincible. Then Print Nova by Ace Dent for the Pico 8. Nice little effect there with the Nova logo. A Space Opera 256 byte by Fel of Rift. The same effect as the 128 byte, but a little bit more complex. In 5th place, Tunnel of Glitch by Neural and Levels for the Amiga OCS. So Hitchhiker managed to do 2 tiny intros during this week. 254 Shenanigans by Shitposter the Imposter, might or might not be evil. For the TIC-80, really nice little twirly effect there with some variants in it. Intro with Twister by Artemka of Subcrew. For the TIC-80 as well, with a fairly complex scene for the limitations of 256 bytes. And Nova Flower by J-Truck, also having the TIC-80 represent. And the winner was for the Macro W8 Soul Sand by Marquee Design. Again, as an effect that we already seen before on TIC-80, I believe, but he adapted it to Micro W8 and tiny sized, compressed it a bit better. So congratulations, Marquee Design, winning both of the tiny size coding competitions. On to the 4K executable graphics, and not many entries, but all of them were quite good quality. Can't Resist by Technologies Spitzeltung. A little 2D thing, which is completely allowed on the 4K executable graphics. You can use whatever medium you want. Nice little aesthetic looking. I guess they saved all of the SVG lines and just outputted those. Similar thing but different. I believe this one is drawing shapes, made by Komau and Dojo, doing some cheers with some beer and coffee. Really cool post-processing effects here on Ortus by Writer, getting 3rd place. Looks very organic, really cool stuff. 2nd place, amazing lane references by Juvie of Epoch. So many details here, the lines, the characters, the stuff on the background. Really cool, and also some post-processing on top of it. Really, really good piece. I especially liked it because I'm a big fan of Lane, of Serial Experiments Lane. So really cool to see. Well done, Juvie. And the winner was Ready Rubed by Fel of Rift, with a lot of small things, a very realistic rendering here, a lot of different surface materials and lighting differences and the depth of field and stuff like that. So a lot of interesting little things there, and also typography written Riftonian Navy, Ready Rubed. So yeah, congratulations, Fel, for winning the 4K executable graphics. Moving on to the ASCII and ANSI competition, also quite packed with some good releases. This one by Rairi, Super EP, a little ASCII entry. Then we have Summertime Madness by Azaro of Floppy, Link and Mad Wizards, Polish scene representing here in a UK party. Go to 80 of Divine Stylers give us this amazing ANSI piece, or Ashi with some drawings in it. A lot of Razer 1911 logos that he made throughout the years. Ancient Faraz by Coax Cable, a nice little ANSI. Then we had R32 BBS Baby by Fusion of Neocortex. Also, like a bit of a wall with a lot of messages in it. Phantom by Hammer Fist of Desire. Very cool ASCII piece, doing like a Titanic ship of some sort. The Endless Part 2 by Spinny of Torment, which is a very large ANSI. Here is only a screenshot of part of it. And also only a small screenshot. Nova by NE7 of Divine Stylers. Also a very big ASCII piece for the Amiga. This was the winner of the ASCII and ANSI competition at Nova. Executable music graphics only. Executable music competition, only 2 entries, was won by Saturday Night by SWB. New School demo competition. Not many entries as well. Re-engine of CRTC did this little small demo. I think it was made in Scratch, I want to say. Something like that. Very basic demo, just a single effect, and also rather simple effect, but for the Nintendo 64 of all things, Emotion Engine by Epoch and Ivory Labs. A little bit rushed, but has a very interesting conceptual feeling, like aesthetic value to it. So check it out if you have a Nintendo 64, or check out the video, which is also available online if you don't have a Nintendo 64. I guess there are some Nintendo 64 emulators as well. You can also try running it on those. New School graphics competitions. Outback Balls by Michaleos, done using Bryce. Lady Jocasta, the Princess of Lunaria. Nice little drawing by Brittle with some very organic feeling to it. Like it looks like paper cuttings. HFJ1 by Object Show Enjoyer in second place. A paper drawing scan, and the winner was Werewolf by Estrella Sadi of Rift as well. New School intro, not much competition. FOMO Killer by Rift won that one with a 4K intro. Old School demo had a lot more activity onto it. Renovated by Defect. Very solid production by Defect, with some graphics by Sula here as well. So they got a few new members to join the old Defect crew, and they're kicking ass on Amiga again. So stay tuned to see more stuff from them in the coming future. Bet you didn't see that coming by Slipstream for the Acorn Archimedes. Also nice little Archimedes demo. We have seen a lot of Acorn Archimedes productions released at Nova throughout the last couple of years. Archiclang by Alcatraz, Bit Shifters, and Torment. Announcing the Amiga Clang being ported to the Acorn Archimedes, so you can do some fancy sound generation stuff, and eventually some intros with it, with some good sounds. So good effort porting it to Acorn Archimedes, and this is the little intro showing its capabilities. Fourth place, Failed Love Letter by Lokut and Saloid for the Game Boy Advance. Third place, Fatum by Desire, with very good stylistic graphics and anti-aliasing 3D on it for the Acorn Archimedes as well. His Master Rasters by Iris for the Auric of all things, very limited platform as well. A couple of decent effects there. I'm not sure if it was worthy second place or if it should have been third, but good demo nonetheless. First place, Jacuzzi by Rift for the Vectrex, another Vectrex demo after they did some like 10 years ago or something like that. So they've been abusing the Vectrex for quite a long time. It's a very interesting machine, completely based around the vector drawings, so really cool. Check it out, the demo. Old School graphics competition, not many entries, but both of them quite good. Work Machine by Viral Box, very nice pixel graphics artwork there. And Nova Punk by Estrella Sadi with only 8 colors for the Amiga here as well. Very nice piece. I guess it's partially converted, but looks really good. Old School music competition was won by Toback for the BBC Micro, with 2 BBC Micros playing at the same time. The Grand Textual Adventures of Fred and Sheila won the competition there. A lot of stuff for the Amiga as well, and a couple of Commodore 64 entry, and a couple of Fast Tracker 2 entries as well. Photography competition, a lot of entries as well as usual. I'm gonna skim through a few of them and give you the top 5. Enchanted Garden by Azaro getting 5th place. 4th place, Evening in the 35th Floor by Vector Eyes. 3rd place, Seaside Solitude by Blossom. 2nd place, Real Life Render by Twist Rob. And in 1st place, Dance in the Dark by Misadventure. So really cool photo competition at Nova as well, fully packed with people submitting entries. Streaming music competition, also 9 entries, was won by Ashera and Death Boy with Sacrament of the Phoenix. The teletext graphics competition, because why not if people want to do graphics for teletext. Siberia by Juvie getting 7th place. Cruel Cobra by Pandora. Morkborg by Oni of Chapter House, not that Oni. 4th place, I Love You by Wim de Wingard. 3rd place, After Mucha by Spini of Torment. 2nd place, Osprey Girl with Bangs by Atonal Osprey. And in 1st place, Mr. Zero F099 of Illiterate by Mystigris. Very nice winner there of the teletext graphics competition. And finally, the wild competition at Nova. The 8th place was a music disc called The Beats Not Bombed by Armpit, which is actually pretty solid music disc, a bit of a shame it got last place. 7th place, Steven Yaniverse by Rairi, the same synth that you saw before on another competition. They also made a custom program to change the stuff showing on the LED screen there, and played some Neon Cat and showed some images and explaining a little bit of the restrictions of the machine, and hopefully we'll see more demos for it in the future. Then we had a video entry, the Big Day song by Michaleos of iCube, saying happy birthday to Buzz Error. From the Beach by FCCF, also another Nintendo Wii demo that they've been doing a lot of lately. 4th place, Opinionated Seagulls by Terabytes for this little screen display system, custom video. 3rd place, Nova 2024 Projection Mapping by Stormcaller, doing all of that fancy stuff on the ceiling there. 2nd place, Fred Astaire on Acid by Buzz Error Collective, video editing with also some oscilloscope stuff thrown in between. About a little daydream trip that Michaleos had about dreaming that he was Fred Astaire on acid. And in 1st place, Monochrome Syndrome by Nibblers, easily one of the 2 best Playdate demos that have been released in the Demoscene, mostly because there's only been 2 demos released for the Playdate on the Demoscene so far. But jokes aside, a very good solid demo there. Monochrome Syndrome, check it out, especially if you have a Playdate and would like to crank for your life. So yeah, that was Nova. A lot of releases, very good turnout this year for Nova. Congratulations to everyone who participated and all of the people who helped organize it. Seems to have been quite a good event. I'm sorry I missed it. Other things that happened this week before we wrap things up, we had atparty happening in Boston, Massachusetts in the United States. I also followed the stream. I've seen some of the entries, but they're not quite available yet, and I'm not very comfortable in taking screenshots from that live stream because it was a bit blurry, like taken with a camera pointing at the projector, so the quality is not the best. But there was quite a few interesting releases there, namely the winner Buzz Error Collective intro or demo for the oscilloscope, which is also already available on YouTube if you want to see it. ANSI artwork by The Green Herring, which I actually was Xpin, I believe. And the old school demo by Cosmic Orbs was very good as well. Very solid Amiga production there. And they also had a few stuff for other competitions. AYCE also showed up in mass to the to the party, and they released quite a few interesting things. There was also a live performance with Jimbo improvising some of his custom synths, some circuit bending music, and Provod doing some live coding as well, and that's also archived, and you can see the video recording of it as well. Next week, when the productions are finally available, like all the binaries are available, I'll probably cover this a little bit better. What else? Matka Natura by Marquee Design was released for the Atari a little while back, and they Super Rogue now made an Amiga version of it as well. So if you have an Amiga, please play this intro there, which you now can see some IFS fractals on your Amiga for the first time ever. Probably not the first time, but close enough. Anyways, that's it for this week. Hope you found something interesting. If you haven't, there are quite a few things in the demo scene coming up soon. You can see Underground Conference is happening right now. It's a whole week-long party happening in Bingen. Then we have a reunion, ad hoc, Posadas party, and Shadow party happening this coming weekend. We also have a meetup here in in Portugal on the 23rd, so also this weekend. So yeah, a lot of things happening at the end of June as usual, and a lot of things planned out for July as well. So that is a good segue to tell you that you should come to the closest demo party near you. Don't forget to participate, don't forget to submit. If you can't participate locally, you can also submit remotely to most of these parties. Most of them accept remote entries gladly, only some are weird and don't like supporting remote things. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, hope you found something useful. I'll be back next week with a few more reports on some more things that have been news on the demo scene. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you'd like to support me financially to keep doing more of these videos and maybe finance some more trips to more demo parties around Europe, you can go to patreon.com/psnf, donate whatever you are comfortable with. €1, €2, €5, €20, 5,000 euros, whatever you are willing, would be really cool to have, so we can keep evolving the channel and do some more interesting stuff. So yeah, that's it for me. See you next week. Bye bye everybody. Have a great day.